Twilight Gets a Puppy. By TDR. Chapter 33. The Ticket Mutt. Sweet Apple Acres, 1 week after the return of Nightmare Moon. Nope, nope. Nope, Spike stated from Twilight's back, tossing an apple out of one of her buckets with every word. Ross followed behind the pair, carrying 2 large baskets of apples on his own, snapping the apples Spike tossed aside out of the air and quickly devouring them. The apples here were quickly becoming one of his favorite flavors of magic, right up there with Cadence's strawberry shortcake flavored spells. Of course he usually got ill from eating too many of them, but that was future Ross's problem. "Thank ya kindly for helping me with these apples y'all," Applejack stated from her spot at the lead of the group. "I bet Big Mac that I could get them all in tha barn before lunch. And when I win he's gonna have to walk down Stirrup Street in Oni Granny's girdles." "Happy to help Applejack." Twilight smirked. "Though now that you mention it, that does sound like something that would be amusing to see." "Woof?" Ross asked. "Yeah, what was your side of the bet?" Spike questioned, tossing away another apple. "Ugh, that I'd let Rarity frou-frou me up to run tha stall in town this weekend." Applejack muttered. "That sounds like it would be amusing to see too." Twilight chuckled. "But I did agree to help you first, so I suppose I will have to settle for seeing Big Mac in a girdle." "Bork?" Ross asked with a large grin on his face. Twilight turned red and turned to glare back at her brother, yanking a particularly large apple that Spike had found out of his hands and flinging it at Ross, who happily snapped it out of the air. "I'm not dignifying that with a response." Twilight snorted. Why would there be another reason she wanted to see Big Mac? Spike asked confused, as Ross laughed. Thankfully Applejack had walked on ahead enough to have missed most of the conversation. By the time they caught up with her again Spike had found another delicious-looking apple. One that was promptly engulfed in green flames and turned to dust as a sealed scroll appeared, gathered from the ash and fire of Spike's flames. "My apple!" Spike protested as Twilight caught the scroll in her magic. "Eh, a letter from the princess." Twilight smirked. "Which one?" Applejack asked. Twilight paused a moment as if forgetting that little detail, though a glance at the scroll seal told her what she needed to know. "Princess Celestia, I don't think Princess Luna is connected to Dragonmail yet." Twilight explained. "Still mad at her?" Applejack questioned. "A little, but the more time I have to think about it the less angry I get. We still need to head back up there to get the rest of our stuff moved down here." Twilight explained. "Maybe talk to Princess Luna about Ross. Though I'd like for her to be settled in first." "So what's it say?" Spike demanded, only to burp again and a smaller note to pop out of the fire. Spike snatched that up and looked at it, only to growl and crumple it. "Thanks for the apple, my tail." Twilight opened the letter, noting a trio of tickets spilling out of it. She held onto them with her magic, reading over the letter with a small sigh. "Well, what is it?" Applejack asked. "It's a invitation to the Grand Galloping Gala for the 3 of us plus 1 each." Twilight deadpanned, looking ill. Spike frowned and Ross groaned before slapping his face with a paw. Applejack was the only one who seemed excited, bouncing around a bit like Pinkie Pie. "Why are you so excited?" Spike grumbled. "What? I'd love to go. I could set up an apple stand and ponies would line up till tha cows come home for some fresh fixings from tha farm." Applejack smirked. "Ya have any idea how much business I could drum up for Sweet Apple Acres if I get a couple of them rich pony types interested in our apples? With all that money would could replace that saggy old roof, and Mac could fix that saggy old plow. And Granny Smith could replace that saggy old hip." The siblings stared at the farmer a moment more, blinking slowly before both Spike and Ross spoke up. "Not it." "What?" "Bucket," Twilight sighed. "Applejack, I hate to be the one to crush your dream, but that's not how it would work." "What?" Applejack blinked. "The gala is fully catered with more free food than you've ever seen. No one would pay for your food when they could get food for free. Especially nobles. Most of them are bit pincers no matter how rich they are. If there's free food they won't buy their own no matter how good. Twilight muttered. But there's no better apple than ours, Applejack protested looking upset. Right, but selling them at the door isn't going to make anyone want them more. Twilight explained. Besides, didn't you say this batch of apples was being sent to Canterlot? Some pony clearly already knows about them. Yeah, place called Sweet Tooth Bakery bought about a dozen bushels. Said they heard we were made a heritage site and wanted to incorporate that. Why? Applejack questioned. Woof. Ross stated. Right, that's who I thought you said earlier. Sweet Tooth Bakery is Princess Celestia's favorite cake maker. They always cater the gala. So if they are already ordering from you, it's a pretty good chance your apples will already be at the gala. Twilight explained. Well, shoot. Applejack muttered. There goes my reason for wanting to go. You three don't seem to be that thrilled in going to it either. It's a party, a large crowded party, Twilight shuddered. Bork. Full of nobles. Twilight translated. It's a big frou-frou thing, why would I want to go? Spike protested. Well, what are ya gonna do with them tickets then? Applejack asked. See if any of the others want them, I guess. Twilight shrugged. Well, I don't see why they wouldn't, but I didn't see why I wouldn't either. Still, if ya have one left, might see if I can convince Granny to go as a bit of an early birthday present for her. Applejack considered. She might get a kick of all that hoopla and spectacle, maybe bring Apple Bloom as her +1. Both of 'em would be tickled pink to go to a bit of that gala. Here. Twilight offered a ticket to Applejack. Go ahead and take mine. The only other ones I can see who would want to go are Rarity and maybe Pinkie Pie. Thank ya, Twilight. Yeah, doubt Fluttershy could handle it and Dash done like that frou-frou stuff either. Applejack admitted. Anyway, we gots 20 minutes to get these apples stowed. Hup hup hup. There was an explosion of dirt and dust as a cyan blue form crashed down in the middle of the group, sending Spike and Twilight tumbling and scattering apples across the ground. Did you say Grand Galloping Gala? Rainbow Dash demanded, getting in Twilight's face. Dang it, Dash! Applejack shouted. Ya didn't have time to help me out with that apples, but ya had time to spy on us. I was busy. Rainbow Dash countered. Ross looked up, noting a blanket and pillow draped over some upper branches of a nearby tree. And I just happened to hear you have extra tickets to the Grand Galloping Gala. Well, yeah, but... Twilight muttered. That is so awesome, the Wonderbolts perform at the gala every year. I can see it now, they would fly by and then in would fly me. Rainbow Dash shouted. I'd draw their attention with my super speed strut. I'd mesmerize them with my fantastic filly flash. And for my grand finale, the Buccaneer Blaze. The crowd would be wowed and the Wonderbolts would have to let me join for how awesome I was. You'd be interrupting a complex stunt that takes years of training and dedication to pull off to showboat. Pretty sure not only would you be snatched up by the guard, but you'd be blacklisted from the Bolts for interrupting their stunts and causing a dangerous hazard. Twilight explained. It's not like that's not happened before, where an overzealous fan tried to join into a show and caused a issue. Yeah, but it'd be me, not some no-talent hack. Rainbow protested. I know their whole routine. And they would know that how? Applejack asked. Didn't you go on a while back about how some idiot rookie flew into one of their shows and caused such a ruckus that one of the Wonderbolts got hurt to that point he had to retire? Well, yeah, but... Rainbow Dash protested. And with that last but, I think perhaps out of every pony, just to be safe, and to protect your future chances of joining the Wonderbolts, I will be making sure you do not get one of these tickets, Rainbow. Twilight stated as Spike and Ross both nodded. Crap. Rainbow Dash grumbled. And now that you're here, ya can help us pick up all these apples ya scattered. We're running out of time. Applejack fussed. Double crap. Rainbow countered. Asterisk. Later. Woof. Ross groaned, holding his stomach. I warned you about eating too many of those apples. But no, don't listen to your sister who's seen you do it 4 times just since we've been here, and it's only been a week. Twilight fussed. I don't feel sorry for you cause you ate one of my apples. Spike grumbled. So where are we gonna eat? I'm starved. Not sure yet. Maybe that little shop we saw on the corner the other day. Twilight explained. I could go for a daisy sandwoomph. The air was knocked out of Twilight's lungs as something pink burst from a door nearby and plowed into her, flinging Spike into the air and sending Twilight tumbling across the street, the letter and the 2 remaining tickets fluttering into the air and drifting down to land on the pink cannonball's face. Bats on my face. Help! Pinkie Pie leapt up, flailing and running around like mad. The pink mare finally stopped, looking down at the 2 tickets as they floated down to the ground. Wait, are those tickets to the Grand Galloping Gala? Pinkie Pie asked. It's the most amazing, incredulous, stupendous, super fun, wonderful, tremendously humongous party in all of Equestria. I've always wanted to go. Pinkie Pie started bouncing around and Ross's ears perked up, as music started from somewhere. Pinkie Pie opened her mouth to start singing, though Twilight quickly slapped a hoof over her mouth to cut off the song. Pinkie Pie, could you please quiet down a little? I don't want a riot to start if ponies know we have these. Twilight grumbled, pulling her hoof away from the pink pony, who licked her lips. You taste like apples, but sure, I can understand it. Who are you gonna invite as your +1? Pinkie Pie asked surprisingly calmly. I've already given my ticket to Applejack for Granny Smith and Apple Bloom. Ross and Spike still have their tickets left, so it's up to them. Twilight stated. Though I do want to warn you, the party's not really like that. Like what? A party's a party. I mean, I can bring balloons and my party cannon and games and some party music and it'll be a superific fun time, Pinkie Pie chimed, hopping around the trio. Pinkie Pie, it's not that kind of. Twilight tired again. Bark. Ross interrupted. Why, of course I have a camera. What sort of silly question is that? Pinkie Pie asked. Woof. Ross stated, taking one of the tickets from Twilight and giving it to Pinkie. Sure, I'll take lots and lots of pictures for you. Pinkie promise. Pinkie Pie beamed. Now who am I gonna invite? Bork. Ross stated. Not Rainbow Dash? But I bet she would love to go see the Wonderbolts. Why not? Safety issues. Twilight corrected. Ooh, okay. Maybe I can bring my friend Matilda. Pinkie Pie smiled before hopping off happily back into the building. The trio watched her pronk off before Spike and Twilight looked up at Ross. All right, Fluffy, spill it. Why did you give Pinkie Pie your ticket? I didn't think you even liked her that much. Spike demanded. The evil grin that spread across Ross's face was far more malicious than either of them expected. Bork. Ross explained. Twilight face hoofed as Spike blinked, then fell over laughing. Ah ha 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 ha, those nobles are not gonna know what hit them. Spike cackled. Really, Ross, petty revenge? Twilight sighed. Woof. Ross explained. Yes, I am sure Pinkie Pie will have a wonderful time regardless. But, you know what, never mind. Food. Twilight demanded. Ross picked up the still cackling Spike and walked on with her. Asterisk. One relatively undisturbed lunch later. Carousel Boutique. The gala. Rarity cried out, dancing in place and doing her best to try and still remain composed. I design dresses for the gala every year. Twilight and Ross looked at each other as Rarity went off on a tangent. Spike stood between them with a dopey look on his face as Rarity continued on prancing about. Twilight and Ross had been surprised that Spike wanted to give his ticket to Rarity, but that was his choice. Given the mare had practically crushed him in a hug, as giddy as she had gotten probably didn't hurt things. I'm not sure about the +1, however. I can hardly meet him with another stallion at my side. Rarity pondered. Well, Applejack, said Granny, and Apple Bloom were going then, Pin. Twilight began. Really? Apple Bloom is going? Perfect. I can bring Sweetie Belle then. The culture would do her good, and she'll have one of her little schoolmates to talk to if it becomes too dull for her. Rarity beamed, glancing at the clock. Oh dear. I do hate to rush you after such a wonderful gift, but I have a number of orders I need to complete and deliver. It's fine, we need to get going as well. I still have to write Princess Celestia a letter back to let her know who's going. Twilight shrugged. I'm surprised I managed to sort this out so quickly. Of course, dear, we simply must do lunch when I'm not so swamped with work. Rarity smiled. And I still need to take Ross's measurements. He simply cannot continue in that ratty coat any longer. Ross stuck his tongue out at the mare and pulled his tattered maroon long coat closer. It is getting a bit ratty. Twilight admitted. Woof. Ross protested. I understand it's battle damage, but even the guards replace their armor when it's damaged. Twilight rolled her eyes as the trio moved outside. Ross carrying Spike. Once they were out of earshot, Twilight glared at her little brother. I thought you said you weren't crushing on her. Twilight accused. I'm not, but I can certainly enjoy the view of something pretty now, can't I? Spike grinned. Perv. Twilight chastised. Growling. Ross growled. Hey, you two are cool, so why shouldn't I be okay with her as well? Spike asked. Woof. Ross countered. He's right, you did swear revenge and you take that dragon code of yours pretty seriously. Twilight stated. Fine. Spike admitted. I wanted to one-up Ross. What? Twilight questioned, and even Ross looked confused. For the second time that day, Twilight got to see what a evil grin on a fanged creature looked like. Had they not been her brothers, it would have been terrifying, instead of highly unsettling. I take it none of you listened to what she was saying. Spike chuckled. She kept talking about him and princes. Who do we know who's a prince? Woof. Right, Prince Blueblood is the only prince her age that's Princess Celestia's nephew. Spike agreed. But Prince can't be the him she was talking about. He's looking for that mare he met at his 20th birthday. Twilight protested. He isn't interested in any other mare, or stallion for that matter. And who knows that outside of his close friends and family? Spike asked. No one. Even the media's not got wind of it because he doesn't want a Cinderella rush of mares saying they were her. But he treats any other mare who tries to chase him like garbage to drive them off, and by the stars, both of you are assholes. Twilight growled as it all clicked. She slapped her face with a hoof as she realized what Spike had done. Ross took a moment more to figure it out, though his grin and the low five he gave Spike showed his approval. Asterisk. Golden Oaks Library. I swear if anything happens because of this, I am going to throw both of you under the wagon when Princess Celestia asks what I was thinking. Twilight ranted, pushing open the door to the library. Come on, Chui, it can't be that bad. Sure, Ross and you forgave her, but she did say some terrible things about him and she has yet to apologize to me, so a bit of payback is to be expected. Spike protested. And anyway, that rant of hers was pretty egotistical too, if you ask me. Did we come at a bad time? A meek voice asked, causing all of them to stop dead in their tracks and look around the library. Numerous small animals were running around the library. Some in tiny maid outfits with dusters cleaning the cobwebs out of corners and parts of the library. Some were sweeping the floor and adjusting bookshelves. On one side of the room, a white bunny in a chef's hat was tossing a salad. The siblings blinked, looking around, spotting the conductor, as it were, in the middle of it. Fluttershy, what are you doing? Spike asked. Oh, well, just a bit of spring cleaning. Fluttershy offered. It's the middle of summer. Twilight stated. Better late than never. Fluttershy smiled sheepishly. Fluttershy, I may have been born at night, but it was not last night. Twilight sighed. Who told you about the tickets? Rainbow Dash came by and told me about them. She said she wasn't allowed to go, though she wouldn't explain why not beyond stupid logic. But she said if I asked nicely maybe I could get one. Fluttershy offered. Woof. Ross apologized. Oh, I see you already gave out your tickets. Mo sorry to bother you then. Fluttershy muttered as the white rabbit took the salad he was making and tossed it across the room before flinging the hat aside and storming out with the rest of the small animals following him. Why would you even want to go? We didn't ask you because it really didn't seem like your sort of thing. Spike questioned. Oh well, the gala isn't really, but the royal garden is open to the public then, and the night the gala is held is the one night a year that many of the flowers there bloom. And then there's all the exotic animals that live there, Fluttershy sighed. Fluttershy, you realize that you could just ask for permission to go to the royal garden. You don't have to go to the gala itself. I seriously doubt the princesses will say no. Twilight offered. Oh really? Fluttershy asked, perking up a little. Sure, I mean she did appoint you. Well, I don't know what she appointed you, Twilight admitted. Crown Wildlife Rehabilitator. Fluttershy stated. I got the letter yesterday, though she's looking into coming up with a better title than that. The bits for the position are very helpful. Oh well, there you go. I'm sure we can set something up for you to visit to see the flowers and maybe even get a tour guide to help out. Twilight shrugged. Seriously, we would have given a ticket to Dash if she hadn't said she was going to do something dangerous. Spike offered. We don't want to go. Anyway, Fluttershy, thanks for the cleanup, not so much the tossed salad, though, but if any pony is going to do anything I probably need to write back to Princess Celestia to set everything up. Twilight sighed. I was going to do that today anyway to let her know we were getting settled in. Oh, I can get that for you. Fluttershy offered in regards to the salad. Angel Bunny can be a hoofful sometimes. No, it's all right, one of my assistants. Who is paid for that sort of thing? Twilight shouted at her brothers. We'll deal with cleaning it up. Woof. Ross stated. What? Oh no, you are not pulling that I'm the guard crap with me. Spike protested. You can clean it up. Woof. I don't care if you said not at first. Spike protested. Or I'll be cleaning it up myself after I teleport these two into the nearest pond, we'll see yet. Twilight smiled, ushering Fluttershy out of the library, having had enough of ponies for one day already. Bork. No, you're cleaning it. She had had enough of her brothers too. Sensible. Author's note. Episode 3 completed, with no real story progress, but a more sensible version of the gala events. Pinkie Pie. Rarity. Granny Smith. Apple Bloom. Sweetie Belle. And Matilda Mule. With Fluttershy still in the garden. Bwahahahahahaha. End author's note. End chapter 33. The Ticket Mutt.